Controlling behavior isn't always as easy to identify as you might think. They don't always yell, threaten you, or straight up tell you what to do. In this video, I'm going to cover 10 signs that the person you're dating is manipulating your behavior to make you do what they want. Hi, I'm Emily Baker from LoveLearnings. As a women's dating coach, I've helped thousands of women identify the problem areas in their relationships, and a controlling partner is one of the most common issues I see. If you could use insight on your own relationship, please do me a favor and subscribe to this channel right now. Now, let's talk about controlling guys. Why do people feel the need to take control of their partners? I think that when people want total control, whether it's over life, work, or the people around them, it's actually because they feel that they're out of control of their own life. This feeling of insecurity drives them to grasp harder at the things they can control, and this leads to an intensifying pattern of controlling behavior that can have a really negative effect on their partners and their relationships. So, what does this look like? Let's dive in to the signs that you're dating a control freak. I will say that while you examine your partner's behavior, it's good to also take a look in the mirror and see if any of these apply to you as well. Number 1, they're always just trying to help you. Control freaks don't start by barking orders at you. They start showing their true colors early on in a relationship by offering a lot of advice. It starts small, but eventually they have feedback on almost everything you do. Ideally for them, you just cave and do whatever they want. When you give in, they'll be extremely supportive and praise you endlessly. It's when you resist their friendly advice that things can take a negative turn. First, they'll start needling you and asking you why you're not doing what they want. Then, when things go wrong, it'll be, if you just listened to me in the first place, we wouldn't be having this problem. Then, when you finally get fed up and tell them to mind their own business, they'll get defensive. They'll chastise you for snapping at them when they were just trying to help. In this way, it's easy to justify controlling behavior under the guise of being helpful and loving. Number 2, they use guilt and manipulation. It's not just about what they say. People can be controlling without ever opening their mouths. I'm sure you've had partners make it clear that they're upset simply by a facial expression or body language. This is a subconscious process, but control freaks will express their displeasure whenever you do anything they dislike, rather than just in serious situations. For example, say you tell your partner that you're going out with friends tonight, and while they don't say, no, don't, they make it clear that they'd rather you didn't. That's controlling behavior. A secure partner who wants what's best for you will support you having a rich social life outside of them. While they may wish they could spend more time with you, they'll understand that your happiness depends on having a full life, and they'll want you to be happy because it'll make them happy. Number 3, they isolate you from friends and family. The goal of a control freak is to keep you weak, so they can maintain power in the relationship. The best way to do that is to remove your social supports and become your entire life. When you don't have anyone else to turn to, and they slowly whittle down your confidence, then you really have no choice but to do whatever they're asking of you. So watch out for guys who make you feel like you have to choose between them and your friends. Do you feel like you're wronging him by spending time away from him living your life? Does he always have something negative to say about other people in your life? This is controlling behavior. Another reason that controlling people act this way is because they struggle to make connections with other people. Does he have close friends that he spends time with? Are you the only good thing in his life? Essentially, he's jealous of you and your friends, and he thinks that if he can't have friends, then neither should you. Not a healthy mindset when you're trying to build a relationship with someone. And more than that, I think people who are obsessed with control struggle with social anxiety in ways that they never admit. When faced with a social situation, they have to relinquish control to the will of the group and try to get along with everyone despite their differences. This is why controlling guys won't want to hang out with your friends or your family. Number 4, they have to win every argument. Have you ever raised an issue with this guy's behavior and then, when all is said and done, you're the one who ends up apologizing? Men like this are master manipulators. They're able to twist things around. They can be cruel and hurtful because they're just being honest, But when you share your feelings, you're being mean and taking things too far. And beyond that, they are completely allergic to any sort of compromise, because compromise requires you to admit fault, which they never want to do. So, take stock of some recent arguments you've had with him. Does he listen to what you have to say? Or does he confuse the issue by bringing up ways you've wronged him instead? Does he change the subject and deflect any criticism while turning it around on you? These are signs of an emotionally immature person who uses trickery to get their way rather than finding a compromise. Number 5, he knows your passwords. It's much more obvious when a guy accuses you of being secretive and demands your passwords and access to your phone at all times, but many controlling men will find more subtle ways to achieve the same result. Maybe it seemed like he had a legitimate reason to access your email or your text messages. You didn't want to rock the boat, and it seemed like he was just helping you out. But at the end of the day, ask yourself, can he access my accounts? Does he have control over my online life, even if he never misuses it? This is a classic control freak move that can creep up on you slowly until one day he asks you why you spent so much money on takeout last month. And this extends offline as well, into all aspects of your life. Maybe he's unhappy if you close a door or try to have a private conversation on the phone. Maybe he looks through your purse and personal belongings. Remember that no matter how close you want to be with another person, you have a right to privacy. And just because you don't want to give him access to your Instagram doesn't mean you're being shady. He's the one that feels he has a right to control every part of you, because he's a control freak. Number 6, they hurt your confidence. One of the biggest hallmarks of a control freak is that while he may be super loving and attentive, when you look back at the person you were before you met him, you were much more outgoing and confident. This subtle change happens for so many reasons. His gaslighting and constant manipulation makes you doubt your version of reality, so you're no longer sure that you can discern what's real in your life. He isolates you from your friends and family and shrinks your life so that you fit the image of you he's looking for. He hijacks your opinions and your values and substitutes his own so that you no longer feel like you're able to speak your mind. And this happens so slowly and steadily that you hardly even notice it until it's too late. This is how control freaks keep you in their pocket as long as possible. Number 7, you have to do things their way. This is a less serious but still hurtful symptom of controlling people. Say you're doing the dishes, the laundry, cooking, or whatever small task around the house. He'll insert himself into the situation to tell you exactly how it should be done, why what you're doing is wrong, and why his way is the only way to go. While a normal person may offer advice and then drop it, he'll insist that you conform to his way of doing things, or otherwise sulk, pout, and act out when you refuse. This goes for things that don't even affect him. Remember, it's not really about the laundry. It's just another way for him to feel like he's in power and he's the authority in the relationship. So, unless you're actively ruining his clothes every time you do the laundry, ask yourself why he cares so much and what this is really about. Number 8, they never acknowledge wrongdoing. This need for control isn't only about your actions. It extends to how you and others perceive him and how he sees himself. So if you call him out for being selfish or even just making a mistake, he's gonna blow up. He'll make what could have been a tiny issue into a referendum on the relationship itself. The reason he'll overreact in this way is because he can't stand the idea that he's made a mistake. Since you know he'll react this way, you'll be less likely to bring up his mistakes in the future, just to avoid another fight. This only reinforces his self-perception that he's the best and is incapable of wrongdoing. Number 9, he abuses you emotionally and verbally. This is where controlling behavior can easily end up if you stand up for yourself and try to fight back, or even if you don't. Helpful suggestions will turn into orders, which will turn into threats and insults. If you're in a situation like this, I'm sure I don't have to tell you how truly awful it can make you feel. Just know that there is hope. Don't believe the horrible things he says to you, and do whatever it takes to get out of there as soon as possible. Number 10, he threatens you with physical violence or hits you. Now we're getting into the extremely dire situations that can happen when it comes to dating a controlling person. If he has ever struck you, physically intimidated you, or threatened to hurt you in any way, this has seriously crossed a line and you need to get out now. It doesn't matter how much he apologizes or promises to do better, this kind of behavior will keep escalating until all that's left is fear and pain. Break the cycle by getting outside help from friends, family, or the police. There are resources available to help people in your situation. I know it may feel impossible to escape, and it won't be easy, but once you're able to get out, you'll realize just how bad things truly were. That just about does it for this video. Sorry to leave things on such a dark note, but I need you to be aware that just because things haven't become this bad for you yet, it doesn't mean they won't if nothing changes. If you're dealing with a situation like this, I'm sending you lots of love and hope for the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.